Bitch, listen up. Now, for today's topic, I'm going to have to ask one of y'all to close the door because there may be some little cheerings walking by down the hallway. And the topic of conversation is adults only. Welcome to Girl, Get Your Act Together. This is the final episode of 2023. And today we're going to be talking about your love relationship goals, as well as how to change your goals and what's your 5-year plan's outlook on life, love, and relationships. All right. So earlier, if you watched my brief show on It's Debatable, I spoke a little bit about the relationship between Cardi B and Offset. I'm going to put a pin in that point. When you have goals in a relationship, how your vision of your life looks when you're in different stages of your life matters. In your 20s, you may have dreams as your goals. I dream of a white picket fence, somebody who's tall, dark, and handsome. I want to marry a rich man. I want to have 2 kids, a boy and a girl. I want to have all my kids before I turn 30. I want to always stay fit. I want to live in a big mansion in Bel Air, California, or in River Oaks in Houston, or in some fancy area in Potomac. But you always have these visions of what you believe your life will look like. You pick out your wedding dress when you're 5 years old. You know you want to look like a princess. You hope that the man that sees you walking down the aisle will shed a tear when he sees how beautiful you are. You want everybody in the room to just lose their breaths at your magnificent. But after the wedding is over, then you have the actual marriage. What you need to be concerned about is whether or not your goals from when you thought about getting married and you thought about jumping the broom and you thought about choosing that life partner are the very same goals when you turn 30, 40, and 50 if you're in the same relationship with that same person. Now, you may have had an idea of what you wanted your life to look like, but then you hit 30 and you couldn't find a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Now, that means, number one, you're not going to be able to have both your kids by 30. You're not going to be probably walking down the aisle with everybody aghast that you know how beautiful you are because you're kind of like an older bride. You may be wearing ivory, not the stark white, because everybody probably assumes you're no longer a virgin. I'm just saying. And then the guy that you're marrying may be a little bit shorter than what you imagine, or he may be a little bit chubbier. Or if you're a man, you may be marrying a woman who's already been married before, or a woman that already has a couple of kids and an ex-husband that's kind of a dick. So the reality is you may not be going down the aisle with the same person that you had as your Prince Charming or Princess Charming that you had your mindset on when you were 6 or 7 or 8 years old, when you thought, oh, that's what I want to be when I grow up. If you're in your reality and now you're 30 years old and you don't have a husband and you have no prospects, or maybe you just decided, hey, I'm going to spend this next year going celibate. Let's think about your celibacy. Let's put a pin in that point and talk about celibacy later. Right now, I'm talking to those people who are actively engaged in sexual intercourse, all right? I'm not talking to those of you going to the nunnery. No, I'm talking about those of you who are getting down when necessary. First things first, maybe you got down a little bit too much too quickly in 2023. Do you hear me? Sometimes it's good to pull back on your dating life if you felt like you were hitting like losers in the last year. If you're attracting losers, then that says a little bit about the energy that you're putting out in the universe. Now, I'm not one of those universe talkers because I'm all about God. And if God is the universe and God hears your cry and plead for a good man or a good woman to just come save you from the drudgery of the dating life. I know you're tired of swiping left. You're tired of swiping right. You're tired of swiping up and down. You're tired of looking at memes. You're tired of going to galas by yourself. You're tired of dreading New Year's. You're tired of dreading Valentine's and every other family event where somebody's going to say, do you have a man yet? Do you have a woman yet? Are you pregnant yet? Are you getting married yet? Are you engaged yet? You're tired of all that. I'm going to try to help you figure out a way to get out of that. Okay? I already discussed the last time with you that you need to work on your conversation. I don't need to rehash that. Your conversation is the starting point, okay? Work on your conversation. Have something wonderful to talk about. Talk about something positive. Be an uplift, not a downer. Everybody wants an antidepressant, all right? Everybody wants antioxidants. So you don't need to walk around depressed and toxic. If you're not a walking antioxidant, nobody's going to swallow you up. Do you hear me? People are trying to run and find an antioxidant to go ahead and thin. If you're feeling a little bit bloaty, it's your bad attitude. Okay? I'm saying bloatiness is a bad attitude. Bloatiness is a sign that you've been consuming the wrong product. Okay? If you've been eating wrong, drinking wrong, talking wrong, you're feeling sluggish and bloaty, that is you taking in all the toxins. Well, when you sucking up all the toxins, well, that's inside of you. And what do toxins do? They come out as bad breath, stinky farts, smelly shits, and bad attitudes, okay? I'm just saying, you haven't worked out in a while? Go try working out and see how your sweat smells. If your sweat can clear a room, that means you're full of shit. I'm just saying, you are. It's time to scoop out the shit and get into your best life. If you've been full of shit, I'm here to get the shit out your life and put the good stuff in it. All right. Now, first things first. Are your goals realistic? Now, you used to say, what's my 5-year plan? In college, you needed a 5-year plan. 5 years, you need to go either be a college graduate or you need to be going into your professional school, or after 5 years, you should just be finishing your first 4 years of the military and deciding whether or not you want to re-enlist, or you should have already finished getting your CDL license, or you should have already done your beauty shop license. I don't know what the cosmetology license, or you should have gotten your esthetician's license, or some. You should have become a licensed professional in whatever it is that your goal is professionally within 5 years. In 5 years, you can become a lawyer. It's only 3 years. 4 years, you can become a doctor after you get them. You know what I'm saying? So 5 years is really a starting point goal. Now, if you're already 30, you don't have 5 years. Your goals turn into 2-year goals. For the 30s, between 30 and 40 years old, you have to do everything in 2-year stints. You know why? Because you're already old as dust. All right. If you're old as dust, then your relationship goal at 30 needs to be get in and get out fast. If you meet somebody and you feel like you got the chemistry in the first 2 or 3 minutes, then it might be right. Take a chance. Go on date number 1, go on date number 2, go on date number 3. By date number 3, you still should not have swapped spit. Do you hear me? I know all you slut puppies out there that are a little bit hot in the ass. You want to get some. I understand that. I understand that there is a drought. I understand that women are tired of having sex with these loser men. I understand that. Do not give up the cookie anymore. For those of you who need to go celibate, I need to give you a 30 days of celibacy. Do not decide to go ahead and get the last hurrah in 2023. You might go into 2024 with a disease, okay? You do not want to get somebody else's aura. Now, what I'm telling you is this, it's for real. The only thing I'm going to say about auras and energy in the universe is that when you have sexual intercourse with somebody, you are taking in the energy of their essence, okay, into your body. You're doing an exchange of energy. You need to watch who you give your energy to and who you allow into your energy, okay? If you end up, because all you're going to do is wake up with regret, all right? So be very discerning about who you give yourself to. Now, if you have some loser in your background that you don't mind swapping energy with because you used to swap with it all the time, it's okay to go ahead and have a last hurrah in 2023. I'm not going to judge you. I just don't want you to try to meet somebody going into your New Year's party weekend thinking that you just found some new energy with somebody that you want to go ahead and get it in 2023. It's okay to put that new person on ice until 2024. Give yourself some time. If you're jumping in the bed too quickly with somebody else, you don't get a real good chance to know exactly who they are and what their essence is. Sexual intercourse is not a way to meet somebody unless you're a prostitute. I'm just saying. You know, some people say, oh, I need to see how well we work in bed together. I need to see if the chemistry is there. Well, you can see if you have chemistry just by dancing with somebody. You know, you could be standing up dancing at a party, and if you kind of like have the same bop to it, the same bounce to it, then you can just imagine that you might be able to rock with it when you're laying down. Just assume. And you don't have to do an investigation of his prowess just to see if he's working with anything. Even if he's not really working with anything, you can probably teach him the moves that you like to make sure that you can work with whatever he got. Because sometimes if you have sex too soon with somebody, it doesn't allow you to get a chance to know who they are. Sex is something that should be reserved. Okay? Let's make sex something that's in reserve on 2024, not the first thing out the gate. Because what I always like to tell people is that you can show off your body all you want to in your physical outfit, but you don't have to show and reveal what your skin looks like. People can get a good picture of what you are and what you have to offer with all your clothes on. They can get a good feel of how your rhythm would be in the bed by just dancing with you, or just looking at some of your old dancing TikTok videos. And some of you have some whack dances. Maybe you need to delete those and start some new videos. I don't know. But stop giving yourselves up too quickly to people. It sends a couple of different messages. I know that women and men are in this sexual freedom era of you don't want to do sexual shaming and you should be sexually free. But you don't necessarily need to be physically sexually free. Your outlook on sexuality can be free thinking, meaning you're not judging other people for what they do. But I really feel like that when you have your own body, your body really is your temple. You don't want to be so freewheeling with it. You just don't. You don't need a whole bunch of notches on your belt. You don't want to be a notch on somebody else's bedpost. Also, when you give yourself away to somebody too soon, if it doesn't work out, it can leave you feeling much more depressed than you normally would have been. But when you don't give anything away to somebody, you really don't have anything to lose. You're not really losing any sleep. And it allows you to open yourself up to somebody else. Here's another thing. And don't take this the wrong way. Social circles are quite small. And if you find yourself you're seeing the same people all the time when you grow up, let's just say that you're nice little middle class couple that likes to go out, or you got whatever class of person you are, you're going out in the scene, you're going to see the same people in the scene all the time. And word travels fast. If you're out there going in the streets, hoeing around, people are going to hear about it. And whether you're 20, 30, 40, or 50, if you're newly single, you really do not want your reputation to precede you in a negative way. You don't want men or women out there to devalue you based upon what they've heard about you, that you're too easy. Let me tell you something, ladies. It's not fair how women are judged more harshly than men, but it's the reality. A woman cannot do the same things that a man can do without the same type of blowback. You get my drift? A guy can typically get hand claps for conquering a woman that is seen to be unconquerable. But a woman who is the same free sexually will be called a whore or a slut. They have this whole slut shaming thing going on. And whether or not Amber Rose or any other celebrity is telling you there's no shame, have as much sex as you want, I really think that you should dial that back. Dial that back. That's just propaganda, because it won't make you feel good about yourself. Because guess what? You may think that you're being sexually free with somebody, sleep with the guy, and he ends up being a stage 5 loser, clinger, crazy guy, and then you run into him at the shopping mall hanging out with his brother, who is stable, sexy, taller, the cat around town. But since you already screwed his brother, you will never have a chance with him. So hold off on giving your cookies, because the guy you give your cookie to just may have a better brother. Same thing for you men out there. Don't just go for the hot sister. You never know. She may have a sister that's somebody that you'd rather be with. I mean, come on. So Beyonce and Jay-Z are a good couple to talk about, because when Beyonce was in her 20s, she was saying to the left, everything I bought in a box to the left. So number one, that tells you two things. Number one, she didn't mind caking her man in her 20s because she had it even if he didn't. That was just a country song that they gave to Beyonce to sing anyway. So then later on, when she falls in love with a man that's a celebrity, very wealthy, powerful, blah, 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 they make a great couple. They're in this perfect, semi-perfect looking relationship. And it comes out in 2017 that he's been unfaithful. Now, for all the women who said, oh, if I just look like Beyonce, my life would be so much better. Oh, if I had Beyonce's money. Oh, if I had Beyonce's status. Oh, if I had Beyonce's family. Oh, if I could sing like Beyonce. Oh, if I had Beyonce's blah, 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 her power, essence, everything, my life would be so much better. But Beyonce's just like everybody else. Beyonce's wonderful husband, Jay-Z, felt the need to go cheat on her with another woman who was not looking like Beyonce, singing like Beyonce, money like Beyonce, body like Beyonce, power like Beyonce. So if Beyonce had all of this to offer her man and children to offer her man, and her man still cheated on her, then you have to know that any man at any moment can cheat on you. Your relationship, my relationship, the relationships you see on television are no different. Everybody is human. Whatever you think is perfect is imperfect by nature of it just being in existence. So they were married. He cheated in 2017, and Jay-Z did an exclusive interview with the New York Times writer Dean Baquet. And in that 35-minute conversation, in his story, The Song of OJ, on his album 444, he talked about his marriage and a lot of other topics. And I thought it was very good because Jay-Z emphasized the kind of story that he wanted to pioneer when he talked about OJ and what he thought about OJ when he was growing up. And he had deep, impactful, raps that, were in the album. So when he was talking about the hardest thing he ever did and experienced was his maltreatment of his wonderful wife, Beyonce. And quote, he said, the hardest thing is seeing pain on someone's face that you have caused and then have to deal with yourself. He goes on to add that his coping mechanism, and he had claimed that he had to salvage his relationship with Beyonce and emphasize that it was all through her pain. So Beyonce put her pain into an album that was successful. And Jay-Z went on to say, you have to survive, so you go into survival mode. And when you go into survival mode, what happens? You shut down all emotions. And then he said, in my case, it's deep. And then all things happen there. Infidelity. So you see a relationship, and I'm saying this because your goal in your marriage when you first get married is to have a perfect marriage, to be the perfect wife, to be the perfect husband, to be a unified front, to say it's you and I against the world. And just like the Bible says, when a man marries a woman, he cleaves to that woman and leaves his family behind. And also what you say in your vows, do you promise to have and to hold, forsaking all others, in sickness and in health, in richness and poor, till death do you part? That's the goal that you have when you exchange your vows. If for some reason you don't reach that goal, or some reason there's a fracture in that plan, you as a couple have to be strong enough to decide whether or not, number one, there's enough to salvage the relationship. Number two, whether or not the victim, that would be the innocent party, can withstand the cheating to a degree to where they will not, number three, hold it over the aggressor's head for the rest of the marriage. If you're not able to forgive someone all the way out the gate, then don't stay married. Because once you forgive someone, you are then supposed to bury it. You're not allowed to rehash it every time you get upset. You're not allowed to say once a cheater, always a cheater, because that's not always the case. I'm saying this not to say that if someone has an affair or breaks their marriage covenant or cheats on you when you're just dating, that they should be forgiven automatically. You just really have to do an assessment. Does this affair stop your ability to achieve your life goal with the person? Or is this affair simply a hiccup that can be moved past? I've seen a lot of people throw away wonderful marriages, wonderful people, and crucify them and basically give them a death sentence in a relationship over something that wasn't even an affair. So if people are terminating marriage vows based on mistakes, you have to really think, what was my goal for this marriage from the beginning? Obviously, Jay-Z and Beyonce discussed what their goal was at the beginning. Their goal was to stay together no matter what. Another couple, Cardi B and Offset, what was their goal that they discussed at the beginning of their marriage? I'm sure their goal was to stay married and not cheat on each other. However, when you think about the nature of those both relationships, each person has to be willing to support the other person while the folks on the outside are trying to destroy the marriage on the inside. You get it? So Cardi B decided to react to the demise of her relationship and her marriage with Offset by going on social media, calling her husband all kinds of disrespectful names and putting their business out there and sharing her private marital woes with the world. Beyonce decided to react to it by putting it out in a song, saying, I felt like I wanted to leave you. Yes, you disrespected me, but this marriage is too powerful and you mean too much to me. I'm going to have to get over it and turn these lemons into lemonade. So they are together and they appear to be better and stronger for it. So if your goals in your relationship have gone off kilter in 2023, before you make a permanent decision to sever your relationship or the marriage that you're in, make sure that there is nothing to salvage at all. I tell people this all the time. The grass is not always greener on the other side. And no matter what you go through, you can see people survive cancer. They can survive being widowed. They can survive the loss of a child. They can survive bankruptcy, foreclosure. They can survive losing everything. You see people in war-torn countries surviving, but for some reason, they figure out a way to smile afterward. They know that there's always light the next day. Unless God says it's the end of the world, the sun will always shine tomorrow. So if you know that to be true in your essence, then you should always think about that the same way you think about your marriage. I'm talking to married people right now. If you feel like in 2023, you're at your wit's end with your marriage, then how about this? How about you get with your significant other, you get with your spouse right now, if you guys are in a dry season, if you're in a bad season or in a low season in your marriage, how about you all sit down together and say, hey, we're coming up on a new year. This year, let's make it our goal to work through our issues. Now, how can I support you and how can you support me? And let's make a 2-year plan. At the end of the 2-year plan, we'll decide whether or not we need to stay together as a couple. But it's not really fair when one person makes the decision for both people to do a walkout. I'm just saying. Now, if he's beating you up or you beating her or if you're beating up your man, he probably needs to divorce you because physical violence is not something that you're going to be able to get past. I'm just saying. Cheating, you can probably get past that. Unless they're one of those serial cheaters that just likes to go ahead and stab everything they can find. If you are a person in a marriage and you have a problem with your sexuality or you feel like you're not being fulfilled sexually, you need to get a therapist. That doesn't mean go find another vagina or another penis to run up on. Okay, now that I've helped all the married people stay married, I hope I helped you out a little bit. I really want you to stay. If you're already married, it's so hard to find somebody to marry you that you need to stay in what you got. If you made the plan to get married, if somebody popped the question, if somebody walked down the aisle, you sent out the invitations, you've already consummated the marriage, go ahead and fight for your marriage. Today is a day to fight for your 2023 marriage. If you got a crappy marriage, fight for it. If you have a happy marriage, keep it. Now, if you're not in a marriage, I'm talking to you for this next quarter hour. Okay. Now, for this stage, I need to take off my headphones. For those of you who have goals, now I'm going to help you. Number one, you're saying the wrong things. We've already discussed that on the last episode of Girl, Get Your Act Together. I need you to get your conversation up. I need you to walk outside with a smile on your face. Get rid of that resting bitch face and just know that the cosmos are aligned. The moon is in orbit. The sun has taken another spin. We are going around. This is not 24 hours. This is the next 365 days. I need for you to have a 1-year goal because in this 1 year, you're going to go for New Year's Day, where I need you to spend New Year's Day in a time of happiness. No matter what happens on New Year's Eve, if you kiss somebody on New Year's Eve, if you don't have anybody to kiss when the clock strikes 12, go hold up your compact or hold up your hand if you're an AKA and just go, mwah. Give yourself a kiss because you made it to 2024. Now, if you needed somebody to kiss on, then go ahead and FaceTime one of your relatives, mwah, and blow them a kiss. If you're looking for a significant other in the new year, here's how I want to set this thing off right. okay? Number one, wake up with a smile. Number two, wake up early. The early bird catches the worm and the sperm, okay? You got to be ready. You got to be ready on day one to get the job done. The first thing out of your mouth needs to be a happy hello, and I'm so glad to see you. I'm so glad you're here. It's so nice to meet you. Be authentic and intentional with every speech that you give. When I say every speech that you give, you're giving a speech about yourself. You should have a 15-second, a 25-second, and a 30-second spiel about your hello. Your hello to a greeting, your greeting to anybody that you meet needs to be a wonderful greeting. Leave them feeling better for having met you. Leave them wanting to know more about you. Leave them wanting to ask questions about you. You have to make the other person want to engage with you. And engagement requires two people coming together to put their hands together, clasp it up. If you're engaged in intelligent conversation and you're leaning in, if you're talking to somebody with a smile on your face, that's another thing you need to practice. While you're speaking, you can speak like this. When you're talking to somebody, make sure you have a smile on your face. Or you can go like this. When you're talking to somebody, make sure you have a smile on your face. Now, who would you want to get with? Talking on your face like this or a smile on your face like that? You have to keep a smile on your face. A smile is a frown turned upside down. You want to make everybody feel better for having crossed your paths. You know, leave somebody better off for having said hello to you. When you have inflection in your voice, say, hey, how are you? You don't have to wait for somebody to come up and say hello to you. Hellos are free, and so are goodbyes, okay? So if you see somebody making a stage 5 running away from you, that means you need to do better on your next hello. If you got the saggy face, then you need to go ahead and turn it around. Here's a tip. When you walk into a room, you need to be very perceptive. You got to feel the energy of the room. You got to see, how is this room going to feel when I'm in there? So what you need to do, if you're getting out of your car, going to meet your friends inside of a spot, make sure that when you walk in, before you open the door, before you even check your name to see if it's on the list, before you even take out your phone to make sure they can scan your barcode to get into the party, make sure you, number one, are listening to your favorite song before you get out of the car. Something that's popping, something that gives you energy. So yeah, I always play my favorite beat before I get out of the car. When I'm already having that tune in my head, that means when I'm walking up, I got a pep in my step. When I get to the front door of wherever I'm going, whoever is there to greet me and say, hi, how are you? If they're feeling a little bit down and looking like, who's next? I'm going to say, hey, how's it going? I'm Nyanza. Is my name on the list? If you're going up there like that, if your name is not on the list, they're going to put it on the list because they want the kind of energy that you're bringing into the room. They're like, no, we can't find you, but go ahead and go on in there. Have a great time. Say, you too. Merry Christmas. Have a happy New Year. I hope you have a great night. Do something like that. Your first foray into whatever room you walk into has to bring that kind of energy. When you bring that kind of energy into the door, that means you've already lightened up the person that you just encountered. So when the next person comes into the spot and checks in and sees if their name is on there, the person that's at the reception desk is already smiling because you put them in a good mood. You're responsible for leaving that person in a good mood. So what's that going to be? The universe is going to give you that same energy back. So when you walk up to the bar and you're ready to order your drink, you're already going up there with that same pep in your step. You already got a smile on your face. And then you don't even see anybody that you know. But when you walk up to the bar, your energy's so good, the bartenders will be like, hey, what would you like to drink? If you're going up to the bar with a stank face or a stank attitude and you're wondering why the bartender won't call on you, it's for obvious reasons. You got the nasty mug. You got the stank face. You're looking like your money is funny or you have a bad attitude or you look like you don't want to make any friends. If you're smiling when you walk up, then it looks like you want to be cheerful and festive. Your job is to infect people with your happiness. You want to send a coronavirus full of happiness out there to whatever spot you're in. So that way, guess what? When the bartender is smiling at you, handing you your nice little glass of Chablis, then you're taking your first sip and you're like, cheers to you. Somebody of the opposite sex or even the same sex if you swing that way will see you having that exchange with the bartender. See that smile on the face because guess what? Even from the side, you can see a smile. Cheese, 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 all your angles. When Drake said, check your mirror for angles, You need to check your mirror at angles when you're at home to make sure that your cheeks are nicely plump to smile. That's the first thing you can see on somebody is their smile. Once you order that drink at the bar, everybody's going to come running to you. It'll make other people that know you notice you. Oh, that's Stacy over there. Oh, that's Keisha over there. Oh, that's John over there. Oh, that's my homeboy Eric over there. Your friends will feel your energy and know that you're in the room because everything's positive. Do you feel me? Do you feel this positivity that I'm giving you through this screen? I mean, doesn't it make you want to just go out there and figure out what you're going to wear for New Year's Eve? Doesn't it make you feel like, what kind of song can I have popping? What's going to be your theme song for 2024? What song will you be listening to when you're getting ready? You know, when you're doing your makeup and doing your hair and you're figuring out your outfit and you're bopping around, figuring out what dance moves you want to try out. You're figuring out that last line dance. Do you know all the moves? Before you go out, you got to put yourself in the right headspace. If somebody's living with you, if you got roommates or something and they're in a bad headspace, turn on the music around the house so everybody can start feeling good. My dad, back in the days when houses had intercoms, my family, we had an intercom. On Sunday mornings, my dad would start us off listening to gospel music and play it all around the house, whether you were ready to wake up or not. But it got you in that spiritual mood once you woke up. The Lord is blessing me. Whether you want to say, okay, I'm waking up, I'm brushing my teeth, get into the shower. Do the same thing when you walk out of your house. Not just when you're going out with your friends, but when you're going to work, when you're going to a social event, when you're just going to your family's house. If you put yourself in the right headspace, in the good space, listening to your favorite song, wear your favorite outfit, then it really doesn't matter what negativity comes my way, because then you'll be like Teflon. Boom, it'll just bounce off of you. You cannot, when you're covered in happiness, your glow is effervescent. You need to exude positivity. You need to exude an aura of good energy. Because guess what? Everybody is looking for some good energy. Everybody wants the cosmos to align in their favor. If you know that there's some things that you want in the new year, 2024 is going to be my favorite year of all. My birthday is on the 24th. My husband's birthday is on the 24th. My daughter's birthday is on the 24th. My son's little birthday is on August the 2nd. So those two and that 2-4, that means something. You need to figure it out. What's your favorite number? Work with your number. If your favorite number was 2023, switch it to 2024 for the new year. You have got to know that everything about you is unique. Everything about you is wonderful. Everything about you is praiseworthy. Everything about you is original. God made it only for you. There is nobody else like you. There will never, ever, ever be another you. Even if you're a twin, a triplet, or a quad, you will never have another you. God gave you certain special things and gifts just for you. Just for you. Some of you have discovered your gifts already. Good for you. Some of you are in a space of discovery. Some of you are now working on your gifts. Some of you are honing in on your skills. Some of you are still searching for your gifts. But guess what? If your energy is right, if you always keep it up, say, you know what? My energy's a little off this morning. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. My man ain't acting right. My money's kind of funny. My kids are bad as shit. And I kind of want to give them up to an orphanage, but I'm still happy. Let me just turn on Too Legit to Quit. Let me just turn on some MC Hammer. Let me just turn on some Cyndi Lauper, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Let me just turn on some Girls Are the Best by Beyonce. Let me just turn on some Biggie Smalls. Let me just turn on some pop. Let me get my energy back. Let me turn on some Hustle and Flow. You have got to figure out a way to make yourself feel your energy, okay? You have to, because guess what? Your energy is going to help you be able to perfectly visualize your goals for your life. You cannot think about your future success if you are mired in your current sadness. Get out of your current sadness. Get out of your Debbie Downerness. Don't be a mean Meg, a Debbie Downer, wah, Willy Wonka. Be somebody who's like, you know what? I just want to shake it off. I just want to shake it off. Shake it off, because you know what? You're not going to meet somebody in the love spectrum. And I don't care what your love looks like. You're not going to beat anybody in your love spectrum if you got a negative attitude. Nobody wants to roll over on a great morning with a negative Nelly on the other side of the pillow complaining. Nobody wants to go out knowing that, oh my God, all I'm going to hear is bitch, 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 complain, bitch, complain, bitch, complain. Nobody wants that. And you know what? Sometimes you're bringing it on yourself. You can just look in the mirror. You're not happy with yourself? Fix it. You're not happy with your body? Fix it. You're not happy with your job? Fix it. You're not happy with your family? Fix yourself so you can be a better self and be a better family member to your other family members. You can't fix them. You got to fix yourself. If there's something wrong with your spiritual life, talk to God about it. Okay? If you're one of those people that's just running around a little bit confused, not feeling sure-footed in what your goals are, not knowing what the future is going to hold for you. If you're scared, you're recently divorced, you lost your job, you got diagnosed with something bad, I still need you to fix your energy. You don't get a pass for what's going on in your life to still be a negative Nelly. There are people down at MD Anderson Cancer Center with a smile on their face and you don't have cancer. There are people that have been given death sentences on death row that know they didn't do it and they can still find a reason to smile because they know that they still have hope. So long as you're free living, free, not behind bars, you can breathe and your heart is still beating, I need you to put a smile on your face. I need for you to have your cheeks popping, not just your booty popping. And speaking of booty popping, I want you guys to feel comfortable in your own skin. Be okay. Work with what you got. Because what you got is a lot. If you need to fill it up and plump it up, that's fine. But just try to keep looking like yourself. We all need a little help eventually. But just know that your looks are not what make people want to be around you. Men and women, sometimes we can be shallow. I'm shallow a lot of times. However, I also understand that the essence of a person is not captured in their physical makeup. You know that? Your essence is inside. Your heart is inside. So when you're going out there, put on your good song to get ready to. Get yourself in a good mood. If you got somebody that you feel like you're liking a little bit, you might run into the person out on a date with somebody else. It's okay. It's okay. Just because you see a person that you may be interested out with somebody else, that doesn't mean they're getting married. But what it does mean is that just for now, you have more time to look at other people. So here's what I want you to know. You don't need a 5-year goal if you're over 40 or over 50. You need a 1-year goal. You need to set yourself up for success and not failure in this new year. You get to reset your life, start everything over. Everything resets at 12:01 a.m., December 31st, January the 1st. Make sure if you're black, you got your black eyed peas so they can give you some good luck in the new year. If you have broken relationships with people, try to mend them on the last day of the year. Do something. Send out a text message, I'm sorry. It didn't go very well last year. Hopefully we can come back together in 2024. Now, if it's somebody that you severed the relationship that was not good for you, that was toxic, leave them in the past. I'm only talking to you about people who mean the best for you still, even though you may not have talked to them in a long time. You don't have to be best friends with somebody and talk to them every day. I may talk to my best friend like once every 6 months and we still besties. But the reality is this, relationships that you value, the first relationship you should value the most is your relationship with yourself. The next relationship you should value is your relationship with your significant other and your kids. They're kind of lumped in if you're married, your family. But you need to also value yourself enough to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Because you have to know if something is too toxic, if an energy is too negative, if their essence is too bad, or if they're so far down in the dumps that all they can do is bring you down to the pits of hell, well, I need you to go ahead and phone a friend. Pull yourself on out of it. You have to sometimes leave toxic people in the past. Leave the toxic people behind in 2023. Leave bad decisions, bad financial decisions, bad employment decisions, bad relationship decisions, and bad health decisions in the past. 2024 is your reset. Reset it all to be on the good foot. So what I want you to do is promise me that you're going to find your theme song for the year. Your New Year's resolution to find your theme song that you can listen to when you're down in the dumps or you just need to get pumped up. So on that note, let me think. What would my theme song need to be? Sunny is my theme song. That's the theme song that I had for my podcast when I did my launch for the new season, for when I switched to my Friday show. So Sunny is the song that we're going to go out to today. And it's an old song. Y'all probably never heard of it. It's from like the 70s. But it's a song that makes me feel good because it says, yesterday, my clouds were gray. But I know that today is going to be a sunny day. No matter what it was yesterday, my outlook on life is still positive. I'm going to walk outside with a smile till my cheeks hurt. And I want my smile to be so infectious that when people see me, they say, she's always got a smile on her face. First of all, Ernest and Joyce did not pay for this wonderful dental plan when I was growing up. For me to walk around like a Debbie Downer. Because what did I say? A frown is a smile turned upside down. So I just implore you to turn your frowns upside down in 2024. Make it a great one, everybody. And on that note, I'm going to send you out with Sunny. Bye, everybody. And girl, get your act together in 2024. By 2023, you're out the door.
For those of you women out there, I've been in this situation. Don't be embarrassed. It could happen to you.